Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers. We have return guest
Ava Robinson.
And we have fresh new guest
Garth Oates.
Garth, why don't you introduce today's film, seen as, you were brought on for no uncertain reason that this is your favourite film of all time.
So the film that we're going to be looking at today is possibly the most incredible experience you can ever have watching a film. If I was able to watch it at the cinema, I would have experienced it 100 times more. But watching it on a smaller screen, I've even watched it on a phone. It truly is spectacular, and it is, of course, Goodfellas.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
I know I'd go from rags to riches.
To me, being a gangster was better than being president of the United States.
Never rat on your friends, and always keep your mouth shut.
It meant being somebody in the neighborhood that was full of nobodies.
Oh, you rugged Jerry!
Hey, Mom, what do you think?
You look like a gangster.
By the time I grew up, there was $30 billion a year in cargo moving through Idlewild Airport, and believe me, we tried to steal every bit of it.
Yes, 1990, directed by Martin Scorsese, starring
Proper good.
Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro,
Ray Liotta.
Joe Pesci. Good night, Ray Liotta. No, sorry, Good Night, Danny Trejo.
Good night, Danny Trejo.
Have you watched Muppets Most Wanted, Garth?
I haven't, no.
Good film. Good film.
Is it?
Not as good as Goodfellas.
Close, but like not quite.
Doesn't have any Muppets.
You might know who we are, but we know who you are. You understand?
Yeah.
What kind of people are these?
Life is but a dream.
What do you do?
I'm in construction.
If we wanted something, we just took it, and you didn't even think about it. To us, it was better than Citibank.
Nice. It's great, but nice.
You've got some nerve standing me up. Nobody does that to me. Who the hell do you think you are? Frankie Valli or some kind of big shot?
I was living in a fantasy.
Look at my eyes.
He's not Jewish.
For most of the guys, killings got to be accepted. Murder was the only way that everybody stayed in line.
What are we gonna do with him? We can't just dump him on the street.
Don't worry. I know a place up safe. They'll never find him.
You got out of line, you got whacked. Everybody knew the rules.
Hey, Henry.
You know how Tom and I have a running thing of a list of movies that we watched at far too young an age and to varying degrees traumatized us. This wasn't one of them.
I've never say they traumatized me. I think I've done pretty well.
I would say they traumatized you.
What have you said that's traumatized you? You have said something, just like
think-
mildly, not massively.
I'll say this now. I've always had this idea for a TV channel. You know, like Sky Cinema and Sky Movies and all that?
Yeah.
They need to make a channel which is just the first hour and a half of Rise and Fall movies. Because that would be the most rewatched channel of all time. The first hour and a half of this, first 2 hours of Wolf of Wall Street, first hour of Casino, Boogie Nights, all of these Rise and Fall movies, and then they all just suddenly fade to black before the cocaine comes out. And then it's just the best channel ever.
Have you ever done that in a film when you're watching it and you just go, oh, nah, it ends there. Like, you know it's going to get bad. I've done it so many times.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep, I'm like, and it finishes. I've done that actually in Wolf of Wall Street before.
Yeah.
But I'm just like...
My famous thing is that somebody said to me about Wolf of Wall Street, yeah, it was really good, but didn't you think that they could have had a better ending? I said, it's not a true story. What do you think was going to happen?
So you see in Wall Street, I think Leonardo DiCaprio's performance has got glimmers of the main guy in Goodfellas, as in the swagger he has. And I think Scorsese learnt things making that film, which gave him the tools to make a Wolf of Wall Street that was so impressive and incredible.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know What did Casino teach anyone? Just fucking don't pens of weapons, you know? So
Casino, I don't. Right.
stand up, sit down, and shut up. That's what.
Can we not do the thing of we can admit, surely?
No.
No,
Okay,
one minute.
Whatever you've got to say, I disagree.
Goodfellas never existed.
Right.
That's
Do
the thing.
you not?
Because
Do you not think that 25% of your annoyance about Casino is that you're like, if I'm going to watch Scorsese, Pesci, De Niro, written by Nicholas Pileggi about mobsters, I'd
it
just
should
rather
be
watching
Goodfellas. Oh yeah, because Goodfellas has all of like the character and the heart, and it's honestly to do with the setting, like, and that whole time period. Like, I know what year was Casino?
96.
Late 90s. Yeah. But like Vegas and the casinos, like, I'm not saying gangsters aren't seedy and the life, you know, is different from each other, but like, it's the heart, it's the Italians, like it's that way of life. And it's like, I don't care. Like, I'm not invested when they're talking about casinos in Vegas. Like, I just don't care. It just feels like shallow.
You can't, because I think when you watch Goodfellas, it doesn't glamatize it to a point where you watch three guys come up and then people are dying and stuff. I never watch it and go, I want that life. But in Casino, I'm like, I'll run a fucking casino. You know?
Yeah. No. Other way.
You can see yourself in Goodfellas because you can be like, I can see how I could get there because it comes from someone outside of the family.
And the food.
The cooking. The best my favorite scene. My favorite scene in all of cinema and probably all of theatre, all of storytelling is the scene when they're in making the pasta in prison. And the best line is, you go, how do you want your steak? And he's like, medium rare. And he goes, an aristocrat. Fuck it. That is the best line ever written on a piece of paper.
Is this the best Rise and Fall movie?
I don't know, man. I've never seen it as a Rise. And weirdly, I've never looked at it in that way, just because you see the Rise, then you see him going all scatty. I mean, that's such a horrible depiction. You know, he's got to do all that stuff in a day. I always feel anxious. You know, when you have something to do all day, and there's a helicopter. But then his fall, he ends up in witness protection. Yeah. So I just feel like the fall's not quite hard enough, you know.
And also, like, I mean, the movies you listed, like, they were all pretty much like some level of, you know, gangster or illegal. That's part of the story. So if you're looking at it like from an American Dream angle, like, it is the dark side, but also like, because they go about acquiring, you know, the success in the American Dream in like the back route way. So there's probably like a whole nother section of films that, you know, people go through it like the honorable way. But then also that's such another good parallel between Henry Hill and Jordan Belfort, because they both, and in both of Leonardo's and, oh my God, I keep wanting to say Al Pacino, and because I just watched The Irishman, Ray Liotta, their performance, you know, they do it so well, how they're just kind of like, they're not humble, but, you know, they're just kind of like inexperienced, and there's that level of innocence about them, and then just slowly they're exposed to these, you know, titans, and then they get sucked in.
Want some? Huh? Hey! What are you doing? I swear my fucking mother, if you touch her again, you're dead! Don't shoot!
I think the aging in this movie is stellar.
The aging
so
is pretty
beautifully.
good.
I prefer it much more to the aging in The Irishman, to be honest. That really fucking.
Yeah, and I think like just when we see Paulie again after prison, it's been what, like 5 years or whatever, and he's just got that grey, and you can see how much he's aged.
When he's cooking the sausages. Now I'm going to come
I think the only parts where it's obvious is when it's the narration, and like young Henry's like talking about Robert De Niro. It's like, he must have been 27 or 29, and he was playing all this money. It's like, calm down. And then later on,
young Henry is so cute.
When he's on the date montage with Karen, and, and she's talking, and she's like, he was 24 and he had all this job. And I was like, oh, come on, just don't say it. I can turn off my mind enough, just don't bring it up.
Yeah, it does make you go, oh, all right, yeah, sure. But...
Let's go to best 10-minute stretch. Here are my nominations. The Wedding, Layla montage,
You love that montage.
or Tommy's mum following Billy Bat's New Year?
That's what I had written.
Ava,
And
do
I
you have any other nominations?
Yeah, Henry's paranoia the day when he's followed by the helicopter. That comes to like exactly 10 minutes.
Prison kitchen scene. There is no better.
No, I had that in. We've got that in single minute later.
Don't care.
Or-
it wins every category, Tom.
I have in Tom's weirdly specific fave part of the film, I have the garlic slicing specifically.
That's very specific, yeah.
Yeah.
So best 10-minute stretch, I think.
Throwing onions in.
I think my
Too many
wedding.
onions.
I think my wedding thing is just a personal thing that I have. I love weddings. That's probably why I love The Godfather so much.
Was one of them the montage when you meet like Tony Two Times or whatever his name is?
Oh my god, I love Two Times.
I've got that
Tony
in
Comes
single
in the
minute. I've got that in single minutes as well.
But that's a montage. Like they walk through it.
Yeah.
That's a really long fucking. That's not a minute.
It's great.
So I'm
And
gonna
that- and that-
that
Get
one.
that thing for you.
But then that would also include How Am I Funny? So that would be a good 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's so good. Tell me, how am I? I just.
I'll just talk about this now. I only have one change, and it's very specific. But this is my new category, which is what I'm going to call every cut films, where every time it cuts to the next scene, there's no disappointment. You're like, oh, this is incredible too.
Okay,
I think you get it with Shawshank, you get it with Silence of the Lambs, you get it with Cuckoo. I think you get it with. Personally, I rewatched Terms of Endearment, and I know so that's more so than me, than you. But every cut, you're like, oh, it's this scene. Oh, it's this scene. Even, and this is more so a film, I think, of moments than scenes, as you know, we're talking about, you know, like just that little bit where they're burning down the bamboo club and they're sat in the car, and you know, Pesci's got the great hypocrisy of going, you know. She's prejudiced against Italians. This Jew is prejudiced against Italians. Just that great, hypocritical turn on that line. But that's a moment. It's not necessarily an entire scene. And no, as I say, every cut is just wow.
There isn't a bit that I don't watch, and I go, like, if I'm watching it with Fern or if I'm watching it with someone who hasn't seen it before, I'm like, oh, this is a good bit. Like, it seems to have that happens a lot. Like the dinner scene around the table, and they're talking about, doesn't that look like someone we know? And they're like this and that.
Borrow this knife.
One of the most, one of the most sinister scenes is when Robert De Niro is talking to him at the end, and he says, "I need you to go do a job for me," and you know he's going to get him whacked. And Robert De Niro's got he looks like a fucking accountant, a terrifying one, you know.
Big glasses.
Yeah. The only scene, I tell you what, one scene I don't like, and I've never liked it, is, you know, when she goes to see Robert De Niro and Robert De Niro gives her money and then
I
goes,
was just going to say, I love
around
it.
this corner,
Yeah.
around this corner. I don't get it. I don't like it. Don't know why. Is she about to get killed?
Yeah, he's going to kill her.
Yeah. And
Well, it's two things, isn't it?
Why wouldn't he just do it? Like, he wouldn't. He's a killer throughout the film. He's very good at it. Why wouldn't he walk her down there into the place to get her killed?
Because he's probably he probably thought that would be too suspicious because she's smart, but then he probably underestimated.
Down a lonely road into a fucking place. He goes, go down there, go around the corner. That's not suspicious.
Yeah,
well,
he
realizes. She realizes, doesn't she?
Yeah,
well, no, it's two things, isn't it?
I never understood it.
It's two things. Either he is going to kill her, or it's a perfect scene encapsulating that for Karen and Henry, for the rest of their lives,
paranoia
ruined by the paranoia.
Paranoia.
I just think it's the only part of the film I feel sloppy.
Yeah.
And I love this film, but I watch it and I just feel like a scene where he takes her into an office and she leaves suddenly shows more paranoia than walk down this alleyway you've never been asked to walk down, go left, and he keeps doing this, like this. And I'm like, he's a killer in the film. He's well known as a killer. I feel like he would have done it.
Yeah, but until, I think you could honestly make the case that up until that point, she never in her wildest dreams. That's the point that she realizes Henry's not got
Yeah, but
any
I feel
friends
that he would
anymore.
be.
We're
No, I'm
all
not annoyed at
out.
her reaction. Our reaction makes sense. The way he goes about and does it, I don't think fits his character. Because if he wants her dead, well, in this film, you learn that if someone wants you dead, you're pretty much going to be dead, right?
Yeah.
And he has
But also, they're getting older. They're getting older.
What?
This is a different. Jimmy's trying to go legitimate. He's selling these.
So he wants someone murdered in his building.
He doesn't want somebody murdered in his building. He wants somebody murdered down the road, a little bit to the left. A little
That's
bit
the
to the
only
left.
bit. That's the only bit. Whenever I watch it, and I've watched it with people, and they go, "What just happened?" And I was like, "I want her dead." Or she's scared, or maybe there are dresses. Maybe we think maybe he's not that bad of a guy.
Yeah. I like the ambiguity that we just barely see that shadow of a guy in that house, in that like rundown shop.
See, Wes Anderson would have added a puppet there, and we would have seen a
we would have seen the big title card. The time that Karen nearly died. Tom's. Oh, Will's not here. Tom's weirdly specific favourite parts of the film. Hey, a Baptist cherry! Just that little moment. The pan shot or reveal of older Ray Liotta. I think that's one of my, I don't know what it is, that's one of my favourite moments. The Karen dates leading into, oh, you think you're Frankie Valli? When she comes to the cab stand.
That's quite good.
Oh, it is good. Because you fully understand their relationship in just one moment. He's like, oh yeah, no, she was sexy. She was hell, there's something about her eyes. She had these great eyes like Liz Taylor. And you fully understand their relationship. It's so beautifully acted, beautifully written, beautifully directed. The nose bust, where he busts the nose of the neighbour. Incredible.
Yeah.
I also like Karen in the car when the scene starts as if she's taking like 10 pills or something. And she's like, yeah, it's over there. I'll be okay. With the sunglasses on. I love Maury's ad.
I have Murray's ad written.
Don't go for wings that fall
Even
off.
underwater.
Henry turn around. Henry turn around? Oh, when he comes home later, early in the morning. And then Karen's mother starts shouting and he just turns straight around. And then Tommy's giving him shit and he's like, oh, what kind of man are you, Henry? Who are you?
Henry! Where were you? Why didn't you call? Where have you been? We were worried to death. A married man does not stay out like this. Mom! Normal people don't act like this! What's wrong with you? Henry, you're not normal. She's right. What's wrong with you, Henry? What kind of person are you? What is the matter with you? What kind of people are they?
I like that scene in one of my favorite. You know when they go kill Samuel Jackson?
Yeah.
But when he goes, put the coffee on, he goes coffee, and he goes, "What do you want it to go?" He's like, "Don't actually make the fucking coffee." Like, I love that scene because I feel like I really related to that character. I feel like that'd be me. I'd walk in and be like, make a coffee, and I'd come back like, "Do you want one?"
What's happening? I love when Karen goes to Janice's apartment with the kids. She goes, "Hello, is this the superintendent? You've got a whore
living in 2R."
Oh, it's so good.
I love Henry's reaction in the shower. Just so happy. Maybe after Christmas is where my TV show cuts. Like just after Christmas.
Well, I've got like a moment that I love is like right after the Lufthansa heist, and then like when they're all in the bar and Jimmy's like that and Frosty's playing. Pretty great.
Gives him that money in the back.
Yeah.
I always feel sorry for the wig man.
Maury. Oh, Henry boy, the pipes are calling. And then the phone booth.
Yeah.
Actually, when he kicks the phone booth over, that annoys me. But up to that point, I really love it.
Yeah, maybe that's a step too far.
Because I've never
that
kicked the
phone
American
smash
phone booth.
is so perfect.
Yeah, I've never kicked the American phone booth, but I feel like they don't fall over that easy.
Yeah,
so it looked like set to me. And also, I don't think he was meant to do it because the camera's not looking at it. Wow. I feel like that was one of those method things where he just booted it.
He's psyched up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I'm Marty. What if I smash this? What if I smash this telephone booth?
But I made Tommy take me looking for him.
You got some nerve standing me up. Nobody does that to me. Who the hell do you think you are? Frankie Valli or some kind of big shot?
Slow down, all right? I forgot. I thought it was next week.
It was Friday. It was this Friday, and you agreed, so you're a liar.
Come on, we can talk about this, all right? Take it easy.
Talk about it? Talk to you after what you just did to me? Forget it. I'm not talking to you about
Wait a
anything.
second. I thought you were going to stand me up. You look bored. You didn't say anything. What do you expect? Let me make it up to you. Karen.
I'll think about it.
I remember, she's screaming on the street, and I mean loud, but she looked good.
I'll think about it. It's gonna cost you, Hill.
I'm going to make it up.
It's gonna cost you a lot.
She had these great eyes, just like Liz Taylor's.
Do you have a favorite building on set? It's the Copa. It's the Copa.
Copa.
What did you say? I didn't listen. I'm sorry.
The Copacabana Club.
Ah.
Do we like that more than the Bamboo Lounge?
I like where they play where they play poker, wherever that scene is. And then they shoot Spider.
Oh yeah, dingy.
That's my favorite set because I don't know. I think it's because I love that scene where he's like, "Fucking hell."
It's a good scene.
I think when I was a kid, I wanted to be him. When I watched the film, that's
Spider.
A spider.
No, I don't want to be Spider. I want to be Joe Pesci.
I want to be shot in the foot and
Best
then shot to death.
Best single minute. Here are my nominations: The Fourth Wall Break at the Court.
Pretty good.
Spider Volume 1. Spider Volume 2. The Copa shot.
Yep.
The bamboo intros. And the preparation for the meal in jail. They're my nominations for Best Single Minute. Do we have any other nominations?
No.
What's so good about this film? You could probably take a minute from every scene.
Oh, yeah.
By quite a lot.
I was very strict with myself.
The scene where Joe Pesci gets shot is fucking horrible, isn't it? Walks in, goes, "How long has it been since you got made?" They walked in, he goes, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
Just that no, the music cuts.
Yeah.
He knows.
It's just that flat shot of that poker table and that hung fish on the wall, and then.
You know what? It's actually, when you first watch it, it's shocking. But when you watch it again, and he's talking to his mum before, and he's wearing a nice suit, it actually makes it sadder, doesn't it? Because you know that he's fucked. And
how she can't give him an open casket because he was shot in the head.
Oh, yeah, the shoe in the face.
That's like, it's good. It's not as good as Sonny when Don Corleone goes to the morgue attendant and he's like, "Look what they did to my son." And he's crying. You know, we were always called each other Goodfellas. Like you said to somebody, "You're gonna like this guy. He's all right. He's a good fella. He's one of us." It's very nice. It's one of the better name drops in a film because it's not obnoxious.
It's not like right at the beginning or right at the end. It's just
I also feel like when you first watch Goodfellas, you're like, why is it called Goodfellas? You know, like I feel like I was actually happy for the explanation. You know,
it's not like
casino,
I want to take his
it's
face
in a casino.
off.
Yeah, face off.
Next Saturday, we're taking you back to the future.
Get the papers. Get the papers.
I'll dig the fucking hole. I don't give a fuck. What is it? The first hole I ever dug.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
If you touch her again, you're dead. Great stuff. Anything I wanted was a phone call away. Free cars, the keys to a dozen hideout flats all over the city. I bet 20, 30 grand over a weekend and I'd either blow the winnings in a week or go to the Sharks to play the bookies. Didn't matter. It didn't mean anything. When I was broke, I'd go out and rob some more. We ran everything. We paid off cops. We paid off lawyers. We paid off judges. Everybody had their hands out. Everybody was for the taking.
One of them, mate, isn't
now
it?
it's all over.
Yeah.
Or when he says, "I ordered spaghetti with marinara sauce and I got egg noodles and ketchup." Ugh.
And then there was Jimmy Two Times, who got his nickname before because he said everything
That is
twice.
the best line, probably.
I'm gonna get the papers. Get the papers.
I love Jimmy 2 times.
He's probably the best.
Yeah. For us to live any other way was nuts. It's great. It's true.
I love have you ever been to Miami? It's nice, but it's like you died and woke up in Jew heaven.
So now she's got a dead son and her mother's dead too. Real good kid matches. I think the kids
perfect.
Yes.
They're not terrible. They're quite good at acting.
Yeah, they're great. Even if Ava didn't realise that little Tommy was doing Joe Pesci. Garth, Ava, do you have anything left from your notes?
No.
I didn't take any notes. Didn't know that was a thing I had to do.
Oh, it's all right. You don't need to. Right,
But
I'll do a few fun facts with Ava after you've gone. I want to get a few of these big questions out.
It was easy for all of us to disappear. My house was in my mother-in-law's name. My cars were registered to my wife. My social security cards and driver's licenses were phonies. I never voted. I never paid taxes. My birth certificate and my arrest sheet. That's all you'd ever have to know I was alive.
See him here in the courtroom today? Yes. Could you please point him out to the members of the jury? Your Honor, please let the record reflect that Mr. Hill has identified the defendant, James Conway. Mr. Hill, do you also know a man by the name of Paul Cicero? Yes. Do you see him here in the courtroom today? Yes. Can you point him out for the members of the jury? Your Honor, let the record reflect that Mr. Hill has identified the defendant, Paul Cicero. Your Honor, I have a document that I'd like to have marked.
See, the hardest thing for me was leaving the life. I still love the life. And we were treated like movie stars with muscle. We had it all just for the asking. Our wives, mothers, kids, everybody rode along. I had paper bags filled with jewelry stashed in the kitchen. I had a sugar bowl full of Coke next to the bed.
People call them rats because a rat will do anything to survive. Isn't that right, Mr. Hill?
Objection. Objection sustained.
Look, I don't know nothing about being a rat.
Mr. Hill, you know everything about being a rat.
Objection, Your Honor. In view of the violence...
Anything I wanted was a phone call away. Free cars, the keys to a dozen hideout flats all over the city. I'd bet 20, 30 grand over a weekend, and then I'd either blow the winnings in a week or go to the Sharks to pay back the bookies.
Is this the best mob film?
Yes.
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 Over The Godfather.
Yeah, for me, yes. But I really does The Departed count as a mob film? Kind of, it's gangster.
Yeah, Irish mob.
For me, that's the one that comes damn close to Goodfellas for me personally watching.
Oh, I love Departed. Yeah.
Right, Departed is something that I feel like I'm very loyal to Goodfellas, so I'll never say it.
Yeah. Don't rat on your friends and keep your mouth shut.
For me,
yeah, that's right.
I think for me the ranking is Godfather.
Yeah, but what about part 2, Tom?
I'm saying this, yeah, Godfather, Goodfellas Part 2. And then Personal, Casino, then Departed. I really like Carlitos. I don't like Carlitos. I do like Carlitos Way. I meant to say I really like Donnie Brasco. I think that's a great Pacino. Oh no, Irishman. Irishman is number 4. You need to get on. You need to watch Irishman, Gav. You need to get over.
Have you not seen it? Oh.
I got halfway through and I was so bored I gave up. I can't stand how De Niro walks as a young man, but he's an old man. When I watched him kick someone thrown out the shop, I was like, this is a fast. Can't do it. I don't know why I couldn't be a younger actor. But I'll try again.
You do need to try again.
Oh, it's the face. It's the face thingy.
I need a face.
It was a lot better on a cinema screen, I have to say.
I imagine. Also, I watched it on a laptop, and then I was watching something else, and I went, wait, are they using facial stuff? And then it turns out my laptop wasn't too good. So I'm going to try again on this screen over here.
And actually, then I watched it on my HD big TV, and I was like, yeah, no, actually, the faces do look good. There is only a few, and no, you can't get around the physicality thing. Yeah, the physicality. When Al Pacino gets up when he's 13, he's like, that gets me.
Up and he's kicking him, but he's like an old man kick. You don't want to fall over. Yeah.
And also, I think Joe Pesci is by far the best performance in that film.
I'm going to rewatch it.
Yeah. I think he is, yeah.
It is excellent. You're going to get no arguments from me. I think in 20 years or whatever, we're going to be talking.
Like for me, I rate so much more Pesci in Goodfellas. No, Pesci in Irishman.
Irishman over Goodfellas, yeah.
No. Irishman over Casino, no questions asked.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
I feel like, in my opinion, I love Pesci, but I don't think he's the biggest range of acting. Like, I don't think he's got this.
But I think Irishman has the range, honestly.
Watch Irishman.
And then watch Home Alone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. I
and
think
My Cousin Vinny. He's really nice in My Cousin Vinny, but he's also got that grit.
Number one would be Goodfellas, and then I don't know. I don't like The Godfather, so I can't really.
What don't you like about it?
I don't think he's very good at the main dude. Like the fucking.
You don't think that Marlon Brando?
Yeah, don't think he's very good in it. Also, he dies real quick. He's like not in it.
No, he gets shot. He gets shot, and then he's in a coma for. No, because then you're with Michael. Because when he goes to Sicily, and you're there for half an hour, and he meets Apollonia.
Monday, Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
I feel like it's just, I don't know what it is. I mean, I assume I can appreciate it because everyone else says it's good, but for me, I don't get the hype.
No, you can never change that. You can. I completely.
It's very annoying because I want to argue it, but I don't think it's not worth arguing because it's like when I watched it, I wasn't entertained. And then I think I tried to watch number 2, and the opening was so damn long, I gave up. Is that the one where they're at a wedding in the beginning?
Godfather's at a wedding. Godfather Part 2's, the opening of that is the christening of, not the christening. Bloody, what's the celebration at the start? Godfather Part 2, Ava.
Also, I think, to be fair, because I didn't watch Godfather till very late. I think I watched it when I was about 18, maybe later, 20, something like that. So when I watched it, I already kind of knew what it was from like Simpsons, South Park, Family Guy. Everyone's commented on it. Everyone, like I had quoted it before I had seen the film. So I think my expectation was like everyone saying it's the best film ever made.
That's always hard to, yeah.
It was probably, and I sat down and then I was like, oh, okay, it's actually quite low budget. It's actually quite, I don't know, maybe I'd appreciate it more now.
And also, just on, if you want to talk pace, once you watch Goodfellas, they're two very, very different. I don't think Goodfellas boring in the slightest, but people have said to me it's boring. And their argument is always, well, I just prefer Goodfellas. And I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
And I think Goodfellas is more me for what I like. I like really fast moving, really funny dialogue, and that's kind of. I'll rewatch it. I'll try again, but maybe turn it into a Netflix series.
That's why I think you didn't enjoy Irishman as well, because besides the CGI, that is paced more like The Godfather, especially the last hour and a half. Brutal, astounding cinema.
What do you reckon Goodfellas would be like if Tarantino had directed it?
That's the first thing I thought of when you asked that question of if it was a different director.
You always compare those two, don't you? It's like which one's better, which one has done more for cinema.
Which era? Because I think if you remade Pulp Fiction now, or remade, some of those earlier films now with the cleft that he had, would, Reservoir Dogs still be an hour and a half? Or would it be, I mean, I'm saying this, but Pulp Fiction's 2.5 hours anyway. But like, would these films be so, jumped up?
Does Reservoir Dogs count? It's not a mob movie, is it? That's a gangster movie.
That's a that's a heist movie. I don't.
Yeah.
You know what one of my favorite film theories is that there's no police in Pulp Fiction because it's the day of the robbery. And they're all busy with that. That just makes perfect sense to me, and I very much like it. Well, so that we don't rush you off and you have a nice goodbye, Garth, pleasure to have you on the show. We'll have you back soon.
What's the show called again?
Carruthers, Leggetter, and Whoever. You've been
We're the Whoever.
I like it. I like how you put your name first, you narcissist.
No, it's alphabetical.
Didn't matter. Didn't mean anything. When I was broke, I would go out and rob some more. We ran everything. We paid off cops, we paid off lawyers, we paid off judges. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. And now it's all over. And that's the hardest part. And today everything is different. There's no action. I have to wait around like everyone else. Can't even get decent food. Right after I got here, I ordered some spaghetti with marinara sauce, and I got egg noodles and ketchup. I'm an average nobody. Get to live the rest of my life like a schnook.
So, it's time for now a few fun facts. So,
When I watched Mall Cop last night and how he's like, fun fact for you. Oh, that's a great movie.
oh yeah.
Have you ever actually seen it?
Yes, I saw it in the cinema, Ava. I saw both of them
That
in the
came
cinema.
out, okay, the first one came out in 2009. That was 11 years ago, Tom. You need to rewatch it. It's just iconic and
According to Henry Hill, whose life was the basis for the book and film, Joe Pesci's portrayal of Tommy DeSimone was 90 to 90% accurate, with one notable exception. The real Tommy DeSimone was massively built.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Martin Scorsese first got wind of Nicholas Pileggi's book, The Wise Guy, when he was handed the gallery proofs of it. Although Scorsese had sworn off making another gangster movie, he immediately cold called the writer and told him, "I've been waiting for this book my entire life." Pileggi replied, "I've been waiting for this phone call my entire life." Wow.
It's meant to be.
Romantic. In The Real Goodfella, which aired in the UK in 2006, Henry Hill claimed that De Niro would phone him 7 to 8 times a day to discuss certain things about Jimmy. For instance, how he would hold his cigarette. Ray Liotta's mother died of cancer during filming. Liotta says that he used his anger over losing his mother for certain scenes, the pistol whipping scene in particular. That's very evident. Scorsese and
oh my
Pileggi-
god! And he says, I swear on my mother if you touch her again.
Oh. Ray Liotta turned down the part of Harvey Dent in Batman 1989 to make this movie. Did he make the right choice?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you were going to say Harvey Dent in The Dark Knight, even though that was
20 years later.
28 years later.
18.
No, 18.
After Joe Pesci's mother saw the film, she told him the movie was good, then asked if he had to curse so much.
Oh, we should have said when Garth was on, underrated performance in this film.
Scorsese's mother.
Yes.
What a woman. What an
Steals the scene. Every scene she's in.
I'll make some. Why don't you settle down?
You're going Christopher Walken.
It's the bit where she tells the joke and it's not actually that good a joke, and it's like, but in Italian it sounds much nicer.
Yeah.
Jimmy Burke, on whom Jimmy Conway was based, would have been eligible for parole in 2004, but he died of lung cancer in '96 while still in prison. Apparently, he very much liked the film and De Niro's performance of him. The film, told from Henry Hill's perspective, portrays him as a major player in the world of organised crime. I don't think it does, actually. But real-life gangsters of that era have said that Hill was a minor figure and more of a hanger-on. Most of the guys who took part in the Lufthansa heist was agree. But I don't think that is true. I do think he is represented as a hanger-on. He doesn't do the Lufthansa heist. We're just seeing it through his eyes.
Because you get, like, when it first changes to, Ray Liotta from the kid, and, he's kind of in Paulie's shadow. But then the first time that I ever, felt that, how does he know him, is, when it's Billy Bats. And when Tommy leaves and he's like, oh, Henry, you need to understand this. And it's like, since when did Henry, since when would you give Henry an explanation for your own business, Yeah.
And then, Henry, when Henry, locks the door and you see it in his eyes when he's looking at Tommy and Jimmy going to town on Billy Bats, and he's like, oh shit, this is, I'm not involved here. Did you know that Martin Scorsese's father is also in the film?
No.
He is one of the 2 men to take Tommy DeVito to be killed. He is the other one. He's not the one who killed them. See, this is why I like The Irishman so much, because these are the sort of miserable details that I find very interesting. Late in his life, Henry Hill launched GoodfellaHenry.com, a website devoted to the film and life in the mob. Many of the people visiting the site derided Hill as a snitch. Hill died in 2012. As of fall 2016, the site is still selling memorabilia from the film. I mean,
Wow.
I'm not actually saying that I want another hour of Goodfellas. I think this is a perfect end for this film. However, The Irishman, bad take from Garth. Joe Pesci didn't judge his character, but found the scene in which he kills Spider for talking back hard to do, because there was literally no justification that he could find.
That's true.
After the premiere, Henry Hill went around and revealed his true identity. In response, the government kicked him out of the witness protection program, which naturally makes sense. Sean Penn was considered for the role of Henry Hill. Can you see that?
No.
No, neither can I. Ava, do you have any final thoughts on Goodfellas?
I don't. It's probably the longest film on my, certainly top 10, probably top 5 now. But as we said many times throughout this call, flies by. Every single moment is stunning.
Sure is. I couldn't agree more. But Casino.
Don't watch Casino.
Go watch Casino?
No, don't watch Casino. If you learn one thing from this call, it's that.